health correspondent Nicola Hill. You know, Nicola, this is really interesting. Tell us more about this therapy and why it seems to be so effective.
I think it's effective because, as William said, a lot of his clients don't really open up when they're just sitting opposite a desk. They feel a bit more constrained. But when you're outside, when you're walking, when you're not looking at each other, when you're in nature, conversation flows. It's like a lot of parents will recognise if they want to find out how their children are doing. They often go for a drive or go for a walk with them rather than sit down at the kitchen table looking at them. And it's the same type of thing. And it was interesting because William said that, men find it much harder to open up. But if they're doing something at the same time, then they can begin to talk. Now, dynamic running therapy, I said to him, for goodness sake, how can you possibly be running and talking at the same time? How can you offload your thoughts and your feelings? And he said, well, actually, if you think about it, many people who do run with a friend. They jog and they chat at the same time. And that's really what he does. And he does it in lovely parks like Battersea Park, where we filmed with him in central London. And he says, basically, he is very much doing this at the client's pace. So if the client decides that they've had enough and they want to just walk slowly, that's fine. If they want to sit down and sit on a bench, then that's fine too. But he says that seems to work. And I said to him, how can you measure how successful that is? And he said, well, in any therapy, how can you measure that? But he just knows that his clients feel that being in nature, having all the benefits of fresh air, being able to not have to speak the whole time, but perhaps look around, look at the trees, look at the animals, that really calms them down and helps them open up. And then the second thing he recommends is this empathy walking. And this is not with the therapist. This is like two people going on a walk together. It might be a couple who are having issues. It might, again, be a parent and child. It might be business people. And basically, it is the main advocate here is that the person has the opportunity to talk uninterrupted. And that's really important because I'm sure, Rachel, you will recognise, like I do, sometimes you talk to people and they're just waiting for you to stop for them to have the opportunity to speak, or if you give them a problem, they want to solve it. But on these empathy walks, it's just listen to someone's issues, listen to their problems, don't interrupt them, let them say what they want to say, and then at the end of their 10 minutes, you recap what you've heard, you say, yes, I've heard that, and then it's your turn, you swap over and you talk about your issues as well. And he says this is a really good way of letting people have the opportunity to let things off their chest and also have a physical benefit of having a walk.
Wow, I mean, it just sounds like there's so many great benefits to it. And I know that it really is therapeutic to be outdoors because me in particular, when I run outside at the park versus at the gym, I do feel a lot better during the day. It's a little bit of an emotional boost. We've just started a hard lockdown here in Turkey. It's the strictest lockdown we've had since the start of the pandemic. People aren't even allowed outside to exercise. Do you have any suggestions for people who normally would be able to go out for a walk and a chat with a friend and get that therapeutic benefit, but now can't and are going to be inside for the next 2.5 weeks?
Yeah, I must admit that's difficult, isn't it? Particularly when the weather's improving, you want to be outside. We were lucky when we had our lockdown, you were allowed out for that 1 hour. But the WHO actually on its own website does give advice. I mean, it recommends that all adults should have 150 minutes of vigorous exercise each week. So you can do this in the house. Now, there's lots of classes online you can join in. You can do various exercises that it has on its website, squats, lunges, things like that. Might not be your thing. What about just dancing? Now we have a pop star, UK pop star, Sophie Ellis-Bextor, who in the UK, she had dancing in your kitchen, and every day she would be literally having a disco in her kitchen. She got her children involved, and a lot of people joined in with that because dancing makes you feel good. I mean, this is the whole point about any exercise, is it boosts your serotonin levels. Because of course the other thing here, as you're saying, is that mental effect of lockdown. And is that going to impact on you if you're not allowed out? So it's thinking, okay, I can't go outside. I can do lots of things inside. So you can do meditations, lots of apps available for mindfulness or meditations. I'm a massive fan of yoga. I have to say that's kept me sane over the past year of this pandemic. I believe very much in yin yoga, which is a very much more relaxing type of yoga, very mental. You're holding poses. So, you know, I'm a great fan of that. I think that's great. Again, there's a lot of exercise aficionados who offer these classes online for free. If you haven't got that access, just some of the old-fashioned things, march around your room.
I love it. You know, I've embraced yoga as well during the pandemic, and I love that advice about dancing. I mean, it doesn't even feel like you're exercising. Thanks so much, Nicola Hill, for joining us from London.